this is Sarah. Welcome back to another chick update video. The chicks have grown a ton since you last saw them. They're a little bit over a month old. This is Charlotte, and she has completely gained a ton of her feathers. She looks like a completely different chicken. If there was an award for the chicken who has changed the most since last time, Charlotte would totally win. Not only has Charlotte changed in looks, she's also changed in personality. She has become a totally friendly, cuddly chicken. She loves lap time, and she even loves to snuggle. Next up is my dark Cornish Cleo, and she has become quite a big chicken. Look at those legs though. Those are some serious gams. Cleo is still a friendly chicken. She loves to sit on my arm, although her nails are becoming really sharp, and I do have a lot of scratches on my arm just because of her. I don't mind, but I'm actually probably going to get some sort of an armband so she stops tearing up my arm. Cleo's the first chicken to have a change in her voice. You can tell that it's a much lower octave than it was before. Here is Goldie, and Goldie has grown a ton as well. You can totally see that she is starting to get her waddle, and her comb is becoming more pronounced. Goldie is the least affectionate chicken at this time. She's a little bit neurotic, although she does still like to sit on my lap. She won't do it on her own. She has to see the other chickens do it first. I'm feeding her some dried mealworms. This is the only way I could get her to model, by bribing her. I'm going to keep working with Goldie, and hopefully she'll become just a little bit more tame. Alright, moving on to my Polish chicken, Dottie. And Dottie is starting to get quite a few of her head feathers, although she did have an unfortunate incident a couple of weeks ago. So, a couple of the bigger chickens plucked out quite a few feathers from Dottie's head. You can kind of see when she puts her head down. I ended up separating Dottie from the other chickens, but then she hated being alone, so then I added my two Silkies, the smaller chickens, with her, and that seemed to be okay. I am going to try to integrate her again when all of her feathers from her head grow back. When I was putting medication on her head, I discovered that when I rub the top of her head, she ends up falling asleep. Aw, it's so cute. Alright, moving on to my black silky Pepper. Pepper is the most patient chicken I have ever seen. She should have had some sort of a Zen-like name because she is an awesome, awesome chicken. She seems to really adapt well to any new surroundings. She's just a really sweet lap chicken. She doesn't mind being held or carried around everywhere. She's just an awesome, awesome chicken. You can see all of her silky feathers that are coming out, including the ones on top of her head. Doesn't she look like she has a mohawk? Last up is little Lola, and Lola is what I call the baby of the group. She definitely does not like doing things on her own. She's not very independent. She still is smaller than Pepper, the previous Silky, and I think every time I look at her, her eyes just get a little bit bigger. She seriously has the biggest eyes I've ever seen on a chicken. Alright, now here is where they are staying in their coops, and this is why I haven't been posting too many videos lately, because I've had to finish up their coops. It's 115 degrees today, so I had to make sure that they would be okay for that heat. And you can see this one is the original coop. It's pretty big, and I was going to fit all 6 of the chickens inside, but since they're picking on poor Dottie, I have to make the larger coop for the bigger birds. You're probably wondering what in the world they're sitting on, and it's a little cool pad I made with one of those freezer packs, and then it's covered in a blanket, and they absolutely love it. They think it's the best thing ever, and it keeps them nice and cool when it's super hot here in Arizona. This is their little feeder that they had in the brooder. This is so they won't fight over the food. In the green dish is a pile of dirt so they can do some dust bathing, and they obviously get the dirt everywhere. There's one of their waterers, and then over in the other corner I have one of their chicken nipple waterers that they actually like a little bit better. The coop is 2 stories with a little ladder there. You can see I made a roof, and then there's like a screened in patio there, and they will be having nest boxes. I just haven't made them yet, and they're not even old enough to have them yet, so I still have a little bit of time. The bigger girls do get outside the coop time in the grass, but I do have to monitor them because they're still quite young. Alright, now right next to their big coop is the smaller little run I made, and then you guys will probably recognize this. It's the brooder, and this is where all the smaller chickens are. They're not in the brooder right now, they are in the run. I added a little twig there so they can sit on it, and then there's a little door that I made that goes out into their pen. Oh, and they have a ladder too, because they couldn't figure out how to get out of the brooder into the pen, so that makes it a little bit easier. For tiny chickens, this is a pretty good starter space. Hello, little Lola! They want to know what in the world I'm doing. Alright, now the brooder and the coop are on concrete blocks for a reason. We have irrigation here on our property, and that is water that comes from SRP, and it is really cheap water, and during the summer months it comes every 2 weeks. It comes out of these little pipes here, and this is our immediate backyard, and then the water comes all the way back there, and that is also our yard. There is a giant irrigation canal, and so that's how we get our water too, so that we have green grass. And then the water comes out of these pipes and it flows into this part of our yard, and then it flows all the way this way, and then it'll hopefully go all the way through this little channel here past the coops, and this goes all the way into our front yard to be watered. I'm hoping that's going to work out okay. I have my first trial this week, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, and I also gave the chickens some misters because it's so dry here in Arizona. This helps to just cool the air around the coop, and honestly, the water doesn't even puddle up because it's so dry here. So that helps a little bit with the heat. I made this pen removable so that they have access to the ground, and then when the irrigation comes through, I can just lift it up and move it somewhere else, and then I'll put it back once the water is gone and the ground is dry. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I am not a professional builder. In fact, I really have no building experience at all. So I've had to make all this coop stuff with my handsaw and a little screw gun. So I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. It seems very sturdy and the chicks seem to be super happy. Also, I just wanted to say that I lost one of my older chickens this week. This was Greta. I still have Stella, which was her best friend. Stella and Greta were two chickens that came with the house that we purchased last year. I knew that going into this that they were older chickens. They no longer laid. But it was really sad when Greta did finally pass away. It was due to natural causes, as she was an older chicken. I'll miss you, my little grandma chicken, Greta. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry to leave you on a little bit of a sad note, but hopefully things will improve and get much better from here. I know the chicks are a lot happier outside, and my house is a lot cleaner. Thank you guys so much for watching today. See you again in the next video.